Facebook, we are live again. I have the absolute pleasure to bring Jack Delosa, the CEO and founder of The Entourage. He's done a heap of work with hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs. I've got 300,000 obviously members in the Entourage, so I've got an absolute pleasure to bring him in and actually speak to you guys about leadership. So obviously, you know, with the conversations you've had in regards to, how many people you've spoken to before?
There's a few, one or two.
I guess the main thing that I've kind of resonated with you is I guess for me the biggest thing is success leaves clues, right? So if you're researching the world's best, Michelangelo you talk about, Elon Musk is a major one. I think he's an absolute freak. I think in regards to our lifetime, he's probably the entrepreneur of our lifetime in regards to vision. You know, obviously I'm not too happy with us having to live on Mars, but I understand why, and obviously, you know, to put humanity on the planet, onto different planets is a pretty big vision. So in regards to all the things you guys that you've sort of researched and educated yourself on, what would be some similar traits that I guess for entrepreneurs, and you know, Rainier, a friend of mine, we were talking about how it's not just about entrepreneurs, and I guess the people that are watching the video may not own their own business, but they might be trying to stand out in the workplace, or might be trying to get the promotion in work, or might be trying to just, I guess, disrupt the workplace and actually just get, you know, promotions and those things. So what would be some non-negotiable traits that they need to have?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Let me start by saying I'm a big fan of Jules and always have been. We've worked together for years now. And so, man, thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
It's really good to be here and good to be talking to you guys as well. Man, similar traits, you know, and as you say, it's, you know, like even the people you mentioned, people like a Michelangelo, for instance, he was a sculptor turned painter. He painted the roof of the Sistine Chapel. So he wasn't necessarily an entrepreneur. Now, he had entrepreneurial capabilities. But he wasn't necessarily running an enterprise. But there are still characteristics that are fairly prevalent in people that have done something meaningful, be it build a successful business, build a great career, paint really well, you know, whatever it might be. I think the fundamental thing for me is that when what you do is a reflection of who you are, that's when you do your life's best work. So, you know, I think one of the things that great people have in common is that they've all done it different. They've all done it different according to who they are. They found out who they've sort of discovered and developed and determined who they were or who they are, and then build a life that aligns to that. The second thing is that, you know, most people that achieve something really great or that have a high degree of happiness and fulfillment are those that understand where they're going. They have a claim on their future and the future that they want to create. Now that might be, I want to be a great dad. It might be, I want to build $1 billion business. It might be, I want to help humanity through. It doesn't matter the scale of it or what it is, but what's your future look like. And then I think the third thing is understanding that anybody with any kind of a dream going somewhere will attract a whole bunch of criticism along the way. You know, probably any human will attract a whole bunch of criticism along the way. So just recognise that that's normal and fuck them and keep going anyway.
I think back on that second point, a lot of people are going to compare, or I can't put humanity on different planets, so maybe I'm just not an entrepreneur, or you know what I mean? Like they compare themselves to probably the leaders in the field, and you're going to compare yourself to Elon Musk. You're going to shoot. You're going to
100%. 100%. But if you wanted to play basketball, right, and like okay, so let's say, you know, for those that haven't started a business yet, like we go, you want to start playing basketball, and then I go, dude, that's awesome. I'm going to show you this video of Michael Jordan. And then you go, I'll pick up a basketball. I'm not going to be Michael Jordan. Of course you're not going to be Michael Jordan. You haven't picked up a basketball yet. And so it's really important, I think, not to compare yourself against anybody, but also to understand that business is like anything else. It's a skill that you develop over decades.
And that's a huge one. Millennials want everything yesterday.
100%.
And they're a little bit self-entitled, a little bit. You know, it's like, I want it yesterday, and that person does it so easy. And the overnight success, they don't really understand. Like,
that's right.
Business and success is the iceberg, right? So.
Well, that can be a good thing. Impatience can be a good thing because it gets you moving. So long as your impatience to be great doesn't deter you or doesn't sort of give you an excuse to beat yourself up, but rather gives you a standard that you want to work toward.
And I think having that long-term view of things do take time.
That's it. It's a long-term view.
I think like last week's video, I think I was talking about how people underestimate what they can do in a year, and then overestimate what they can do other way around.
Overestimate what they can do in a year, underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. 100%. Yeah.
So what would be some things that you really, as a business owner or someone that's going to, I guess, stand out as a leader, in regards to different stages of leadership? There's, first of all, you can lead yourself. So what would be some fundamentals in leading yourself in your eyes?
Yeah. The main fundamental comes back to what I was saying before in terms of when what you do is an extension of who you are. I find that when you're doing something that's congruent to who you are, meaning your true, authentic personal values are aligned with what it is you're doing, and you have a vision for the future, leading yourself becomes a lot easier, right?
Yeah. So when you do face challenges, it's actually easy to get through, right?
100%. Yeah, maybe not easy to get through, but you understand why you're going through the fucking excruciating pain. As Aristotle had said, with purpose we can call on courage.
Yeah.
And so, Morello, who's one of my best mates, said to me years ago, he was interviewing me on stage, he goes, Jack, you talk about how when you find a purpose, life becomes easier. I'm like, no, I don't. Because it's not about easy. I actually think that often when you have a purpose and you're driving towards it, it's harder.
Yeah.
Right? But with the purpose, you can call on the courage and the emotional strength required to move.
Yeah. And what would be probably the biggest challenge you face? I know that's a huge question, but what would be the biggest challenge you face, or the challenges you face, and what would be some, I guess, structural resources or sort of traits that you've done to kind of get through the challenges? Because I think for me, sometimes business is fairly simple. The what to do's are quite easy. You got to work your ass off. You got to be focused. You got to be committed, and commitment for most people is very different. So some people are going to be committed if and when I get the result. Hopefully this will work out. That's my commitment.
I'll be committed when I feel good.
Exactly. And hopefully I don't have to do anything that I don't really like. And I don't really want to work 12 hours. I'm kind of, that's to me not commitment. Commitment is all in.
Do it every day.
And you get it done. That's when you stop working. And then the next thing is something else. So what would be some sort of structural things, or some things that that resources that you can pull on and draw on when you go through the challenges?
It's funny, the commitment thing. I think it was Michelangelo who said inspiration is for amateurs. His view was, if you're a painter, you just paint.
Yeah.
You might not feel like painting every day, but you get up and you paint.
Yeah.
You don't wait for inspiration, which is like that commitment thing. Right? You commit. The biggest challenge for me in 2016, the government made some. So I'm in education. We own the Entourage, Australia's largest education institution for entrepreneurs. We went into the accredited space for a bit because we wanted to change the education system from the inside out. In 2016, the space that we're playing in, the government made a couple of really fundamental changes to that were hugely damaging to the entire sector. And unfortunately penalised really great education providers more than it did the dodgy ones that are trying to weed out kind of thing. So that was hugely disruptive for us, and probably the biggest challenge I've ever faced in business. How do you get through it? For me, it's always, I had a brother pass away. I was 18, Tom was 21. He passed away as a result of drugs. And that taught me a lot, because when somebody passes away, or when something happens, like something happens in business, or a relationship ends, or the government changes some shit, right? Often, not always, but often, you don't really have a choice afterwards whether it happened or not. Particularly if someone passes away, it's permanent, right? So you don't have a choice.
Sometimes it's easier, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no option.
There's no option. The only choice that you do have is, who do I want to be in response to that?
Exactly. It's not what happens, it's how you deal with it.
100%, right. And so in 2016 for me, it was like, okay, that's happened. It's a severe. It could have been a fatal knock or two. And so, what's the plan to get through it, regardless of how excruciatingly painful it might be? Because the only way out is through.
Yeah. Which is not
exactly 100%. You can fight through it, or you can quit.
But there's no option.
If you're an entrepreneur, you're not going to quit, right? And so do it all. number 2 is realise that choose who you want to be in response to what's happened, and then head down, bum up. It's not the time to be sensitive or choosy. You do what you need to do. Do what you need to do to get through it.
What happened to me? So obviously the unresourceful questions. Why did this happen to me?
I think that's a great question, because I think everything happens for a reason, right? So I go, why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
It happened to make me a tougher entrepreneur. It happened to make me a better entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know, I learned more in the last 6 months than I did in my first 10 years. In the last 10 years, right? So why did this happen? Okay, let me rephrase the question. If this happened for a positive reason, what would that have been?
Not why did this happen. I'm so
in a victim sense, exactly. Yeah.
What was I meant to learn out of this? How am I meant to grow? What is this learning? And also make sure how can this never happen again?
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it's really healthy to adopt a conspiracy theory, and the conspiracy theory is that the universe is always conspiring for your success.
Yeah. I guess you get what you ask for, right?
That's right.
So if you're asking unresourceful questions, you will probably find that you're getting unresourceful answers. So
exactly.
Perfect, man.
Right.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate the time you
Thanks,
spent
man.
with us.
Appreciate
Hopefully
that.
you guys have got something out of that. If you do want to shoot me a text, julian@sparklinglink.com.au, a message, and have an amazing week. And I'll see you guys next week.
See you
Thanks,
guys.